This video is brought to you by America First Insight. Help support the growing conservative movement by becoming a member today. And if you want to support this channel, you can also use the code REAL when becoming a member. Thank you and enjoy the video. Well, we just got some breaking news out of the state of Iowa. As a little while ago, it was reported that Senator Joni Ernst of the state of Iowa will not run for re-election in 2026. And this ain't some anonymous source that no one ever heard about. No, this is being reported by everybody. CBS News was the first one reported, I believe. And now NBC News just confirmed that, yes, she will not seek re-election in 2026. This is huge because there were some big questions as to would she receive a primary challenger in 2026? Because for those that live under a rock and don't know who Joni Ernst is, she is one of the worst Republicans in the Senate by far. Now, she never gets the attention like Lisa Murkowski, John Cornyn, Cassidy of Louisiana. She never gets that type of attention, even though you look at her record and you realize that she's garbage. She is absolutely horrific on most issues. Her voting record might not seem the worst in the world, but you look at her rhetoric, you look at stuff she says, it's clear she was terrible. I mean, guys, a quick reminder that Joni Ernst was trying to prevent Pete Hegseth from being the Secretary of Defense back in December. People just forget about this. She was the main force against Pete Hegseth early on, and that's why there's a chance that he might not get through, because she wanted to be the Secretary of Defense. So, when she wasn't picked, she decided to cause a shitstorm and nearly cost Pete Hegseth his job. It's unbelievable that this is a real thing. She got mad that she wasn't picked, so instead of working with Trump on something, she nearly sank Hegseth. It's unbelievable. It's crazy. But that's who we're dealing with here. Now, is she as bad as, say, Murkowski? Maybe not. But this is Iowa. This is the state of Iowa. We should be expecting good Republicans here, all right? We should not be expecting somebody to be slightly better than, like, Murkowski or McConnell or Cassidy. Congratulations, you're still garbage. You are horrible. But lately she has been in the news, not for any good reason. No, because she's been in the news because she has been saying dumber and dumber things every single day at this point. That's what it feels like. Every day she's in the news, it's because she says something even dumber. And her most infamous moment came in, I believe, May or June of this year, a couple months ago. There was a town hall. And this was in the middle of the big, beautiful bill stuff, you know, was trying to get past her at this point of, it might have passed already, but at this point, Democrats were pushing the narrative that, oh, the big, beautiful bill's gonna cut like 50 million people off of Medicaid, which, no, that's not what the bill does. But that was the narrative, like, all these people would be kicked off of Medicaid, even those that really needed it, they were gonna magically be kicked off the system, okay? And these are such easy answers. All you have to say is, no, it does not cut everybody off of Medicaid. That's ridiculous. All it does is, it has basic work requirements. Like the most basic things. Even the average Democrat would probably support basic work requirements. Okay? The average voter, they support this. Like, oh yeah, if you want to have welfare, you know, Medicaid or whatever, and you're eligible to work, you should probably be working. You probably should have some kind of work requirement attached or something for people that can work, okay? Well, instead of saying something like that, or just saying, no, the bill, that's a lie by Democrats, she went on a weird tangent, she was losing it, and then she said, well, it doesn't matter because, you know, we're all gonna die at some point. Huh? Your messaging on the big, beautiful bill, when Democrats are claiming some ludicrous things, is to say, we're all gonna die? Huh? And the worst part is, she did not backtrack it. She did not say, you know, I'm sorry that I made a mistake. That's not what I meant to say. She doubled down and then tripled down again and again. It's like, what are you doing? And in hindsight, that was more than likely the moment that she wasn't going to run for re-election. Because even in Iowa, that would be political suicide to say that. To say, Medicaid's not important because we're all going to die. What the hell are you trying to accomplish? And now she's gone. Good. Get rid of her. It's time for people like Joni Ernst to go away. I'm sick and tired of Joni Ernst, Mitch McConnell, Bill Cassidy, even John Cornyn at times. They're all trash. They're all Republican states. And they act like this. And I do want to talk about this because 2026, everybody knows it is a decent map for the Republican Party. Democrats have a long shot pathway to even getting 50 seats in the Senate. Republicans, meanwhile, they could win theoretically Georgia, Michigan. They could win a place like New Hampshire, the best case scenario, which is unlikely, but still, there's a lot of states that Republicans could flip in 2026. But in my opinion, the biggest development for 2026 is not really flipping Democrat states. It's getting rid of these shitty Republicans like Joni Ernst. And I have a map here, and this is not a perfect map whatsoever, but it's a decent indicator as to how the map is looking like for both sides. And Democrats, of course, have 47 seats in the Senate. Republicans have 53. But I decided to go state by state to look at if this Republican is decent, if it's okay, are they actually good, could they be worse? And then there's awful Republicans. And again, this is not a perfect metric. You could argue people like Markwayne Mullin in Oklahoma, he's trash. But listen, Markwayne Mullin is far better than, say, Mitch McConnell. And you look at this. In just 2026, there are at least 6 Republicans that you could deem terrible. Basically, Democrats at some points. This is insane. And look at the states that these guys are in. We're not talking about Michigan or Minnesota, or even like Maine, where Susan Collins, despite being in Maine, is a team player. That's why I don't attack her. It's like, why? She is not a bad Republican, especially for Maine standards. In fact, I would much rather have Susan Collins than any of these idiots, because she's in a Democrat state, and when we need her vote to pass something important, she's going to vote yes. So that's why I say, considering she's in Maine, she's decent. All right, she's not terrible. She is far better than like Mitch McConnell, because Mitch McConnell is in Kentucky and his record sucks. He does not give a shit what we need. He's not a team player. He's petty. But yeah, Republicans right now in 2026, there are 6 Republicans that are just terrible. No matter what you say, they gotta go. And already, we're getting rid of Tom Tillis in North Carolina because he retired. Michael Whatley's the nominee. That race will be a shit show, but we'll see what happens there. That's going to be a very close race. So already, he's gone. Mitch McConnell, he's gone as well. So right there, those are 2 Republicans that are objectively terrible. They're gone. And now, Joni Ernst. Look at that. Now, of course, you have to factor in Lisa Murkowski being shit. But right there, if you get even halfway decent Republicans in these 3 states, I'm not asking for, like, a Josh Hawley type. Like, that would be best case scenario. But even if they're, like, just decent, if they are team players, already that's a big upgrade. Already, even, you do got to factor in Murkowski. But at that point, you actually have a semi-decent majority that does stuff sometimes. Because these 3 Republicans alone are causing a bunch of issues. They're not acting like team players. They're dumbasses. They have no clue what they're doing. And that alone is a big win. Because in North Carolina, if Michael Whatley wins, I don't think he's going to be the best Republican ever. I don't think he's going to be like, Tommy Tuberville or whatever. But if he does win, he would be decent. In Kentucky, yeah, you do got Daniel Cameron, who is not the best in the world, but I think objectively he's better than McConnell. And even then, there is a good chance, I shouldn't say good chance, but there is a legitimate chance that Nate Morris, who, in my opinion, is one of the best Republicans running anywhere in 2026. He's an S-tier recruit. He's fantastic on the issues. He understands what the base wants. If he can win that primary, which there is a chance that he gets it back into people like J.D. Vance, President Trump, all of them. If that happens, if he gets it back into Vance and Trump and all of them, there is a good chance that maybe we could see Nate Morse win. And he would immediately be one of the top 10 senators by far, because you listen to what he's talking about, it's like, wait, this is what we've been talking about for years. Like, he wants to cut immigration way back. He's fantastic on all the issues. If we go from Mitch McConnell to Nate Morse, that alone is a massive victory. I don't care what happens really at this point, I don't care what happens in Michigan. If you go from McConnell to Nate Morse, yeah, you want to win Michigan, but that's basically a flip. That is essentially a flip, like in North Carolina. Getting rid of that dumbass Tom Tillis is essentially a flip. And then Iowa, the bench there is, it's not good, but there are still some Republicans in the state that they're not the best in the world, but it could be worse. So right there, if things go well, you could get 3 upgrades in Iowa, Kentucky, and North Carolina. And the upgrades in Kentucky and North Carolina, they're substantial. You go from some of the worst Republican senators out there to actually good ones. That would be a huge win. And even if Cameron or Andy Barr wins Kentucky, they're still going to be better than McConnell. All right, so let's just say they win. Well, we still have a couple more potential opportunities, like Texas. Now, we got to see what happens with Paxton, but I do think if things go south for Paxton, we'll see what happens. If he wins a primary, he probably wins a general by a decent margin. That's a fantastic upgrade. But let's just say things go south for him. He might drop out. We'll see. I don't think he will, but listen, he's going to stay in the race, but I guess there's that 1% chance the scandal is so bad that he drops out. We'll see. But even if it's not Paxton, there's a good chance that Wesley Hunt runs. And I don't think Cornyn's going to win a primary against Wesley Hunt or Paxton. I just don't see it right now. Could it happen? Maybe. And Wesley Hunt is a decent Republican, right? Not perfect, but he's a solid Republican. A tier below Ken Paxton, but still. And same thing with Louisiana. You got a chance to get an upgrade with Cassidy being super unpopular there. Nobody likes him. Now, it is Louisiana. We don't got the best options in the world, but even then, you could get somebody that's halfway decent. And look at that. Republicans could theoretically get 5 flips without flipping a Democrat state. I know that sounds weird, but really, these 5 states have such shit Republicans. They are essentially flipping Republican. That's how bad it is in some of these states. And you go even further, maybe something happens in, I don't know, Oklahoma. There's rumors that Mark-Wayne Mullen might retire. Maybe get somebody better there. And you do got to factor in, maybe with Tommy Tuberville running for governor, if Barry Moore wins the primary, yeah, it'd still be very good. But if Barry Moore loses the primary, it may drop down a little bit. But still, this is a substantial upgrade across the board without flipping a single state. If Georgia goes Republican, it's Mike Collins. He's one of the best congressmen out there. He is a top 5 congressman. And Mike Rogers in Michigan, he's not perfect, but I would argue, especially for Michigan standards, he would be solid. He would be a decent Republican. He would be a yes man for Trump on basically everything. I don't care about, 20 years ago he did something bad. If he votes yes on everything, he has decent rhetoric right now, I don't care. I mean, this could get ugly for Dems, not just in the fact of they might lose Georgia and North Carolina, or I should say Michigan. I'll just say they don't. But even then, Republicans could theoretically get a real majority. A real majority that's actually decent. Not perfect, but I would much rather have Wesley Hunt, much rather have Daniel Cameron, Michael Whatley. Really anybody in Iowa and Louisiana are better than Cassidy and Ernst. But anyways, folks, thank you so much for watching. If you guys did enjoy, smash the like button down below, subscribe, share with your friends, and of course, join the channel today. Godspeed to all of you.